The more infectious UK variant of COVID-19 is now in 6 regions across the Philippines. At least 55 barangays in Pasay City are under lockdown due to a spike in COVID-19 cases. Among the infected, a 4-month-old baby girl. 209 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines have already been administered in 92 countries, the Philippines not included. Women take the lead in the election survey conducted by OCTA Research. But who is on top? And in sports, basketball prodigy Sotto won't be reuniting with NBA G League Ignite for the rest of the season. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Charles Lejano. We begin today's newscast with the Philippines being left in the dust as the vaccine race begins worldwide. At this point, can the country still catch up? Gregorio with the story.
The largest inoculation campaign is already in progress worldwide. Bloomberg data shows that 209 million doses have been injected in 92 countries. The Philippines is not included. The country has to contend for global supply and growing concerns over the spread of a more infectious variant. A member of the vaccine panel told 1PH's Wag Po, it's now a race against time.
Kailangan mo natin ma-achieve yung herd immunity as soon as possible. Kundi mauunahan po tayo ng virus na variant.
And with China's Sinovac having the clearest possible entry to the country, Dr. Gloriani said it should do for now.
It's still better than zero protection po. So, kailan nyo iintayin yung 95% na efficacy?
Experts say the vaccine is generally safe for public use, but some are hesitant, especially since the shot is not recommended for health workers involved in COVID care.
So parang, what's the logic? Parang hindi siya tama, hindi siya dapat gawin.
Oo, may duda kasi hindi pa 100% na talagang okay yung vaccine eh. Wala po talaga, at naman nangangamba.
The FDA does not recommend coronavax use on high-risk health workers. It garnered a 50.4% efficacy among health workers in Brazil. While frequent exposure to virus affects the shot's efficacy, the FDA says those on the front lines may still opt to receive coronavac.
Halimbawa, ayaw niya nang hintayin yung ibang bakuna. And then willing naman siya to take a vaccine na knowing na ang possible efficacy nito, then pwede naman yun.
The FDA reiterates coronavac went through a thorough review.
In this case, ang vaccine na to talaga works best sa mga 18 to 59-year-old, clinically healthy, alam po natin, at saka working in the community.
But the arrival of another vaccine brand is seeing the light of day. The Philippines has met the requirements for the delivery of AstraZeneca shots, including an indemnification agreement.
Vaccines, as you probably are aware, there are a range of 5.5 to 9.2 million vaccines earmarked from AstraZeneca scheduled to arrive in the Philippines. We are optimistic that before the end of this week, we will hear from the COVAX initiative on likely delivery dates.
The World Health Organization also said measures are already in place to fast-track the delivery of Pfizer shots. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
The COVID-19 Vaccination Program Act of 2021 is now up for the President's signature. This after the House of Representatives adopted the Senate's version of the proposed measure. This means the two chambers won't have to go through a BICAM to reconcile their respective measures of the bill. Senate Bill 2057 seeks to exempt the vaccine procurement process from the long and tedious public bidding required by the government procurement law. If signed into law, the measure will authorize the national government, LGUs, and the private sector to obtain vaccines through the NTF and the DOH. It will also provide an indemnity fund for individuals who may suffer side effects after getting inoculated. Cebu is welcoming more tourists to the island. That's after removing the swab test requirement for travelers from other parts of the country. However, some exceptions are still in place. Jenny Dongon tells us more.
Cebu accommodations are now expecting an influx of tourists. This hotel, for instance, is disinfecting its lagoon. All transactions are also made contactless. The management has also set up isolation rooms for guests who will manifest virus symptoms.
And we'll coordinate with local LGUs and BOQ and DOH so that person can be swabbed just to confirm if we are really COVID positive.
In Governor Gwendolyn Garcia's latest executive order, tourists will no longer need to present swab test results. A medical certificate and proof of pre-booked accommodation will do. The new policy does not cover autonomous cities like Lapu-Lapu, Cebu City, and Mandaue.
Kung ang usapan natin tungkol sa turista, wala namang problema sa atin kasi yung mga hotel natin, alam naman nila anong gawin. May protocol naman tayo. Yung magchi-chicken, prior sila magchi-chicken, alam na yung mga hotels natin dito na pinaano na natin. Meron ng guidelines dyan.
The Interior Department confirms that other LGUs are also eyeing to ease travel restrictions. Travel policies will soon be harmonized, says Undersecretary Ipimaco Densing.
Kinoconsult lang namin sa local government officials kasi at the end of the implement nito eh.
But the World Health Organization reminds officials to remain cautious.
It needs to be very carefully calibrated on where there is value for removing the requirement for testing. If
the Cebu LGU insists that they can manage the COVID-19 situation despite the threat of new variants. For News 5, Jenny Dongon, WR1 News.
The Interior Department says it is respecting Cebu's new testing policy, but only for now. In an interview with One News' The Chiefs, Interior Undersecretary Epimaco Densing III said LGUs are still finalizing the standardized travel guidelines with the Interagency Task Force. And should the IATF decide to continue requiring swab tests for tourists, Densing says Cebu has no choice but to comply.
Until we make that decision on Friday, Cebu will have to align themselves to the decision of the IATF. We will force them to align. In the meantime, respeto muna kami until the decision is made.
Here are the biggest stories from the dailies. Cebu City Mayor Edgardo Labella said the city will never again be placed on lockdown. Labella echoed Cebu Governor Gwendolyn Garcia's promise never to declare another lockdown in the city. This as the DOH Technical Advisory Council recommended reverting the entire island to ECQ amid the continued rise of cases in the area. While about 55 barangays in Pasay are now under lockdown, a 4-month-old baby girl has tested positive for COVID-19 in the city. Pasay Mayor Emmy Calixto Rubiano told the Filipino Star ngayon that they're doing everything that they can to keep the baby and the family safe. The LGU has also sought the help of the Health Department regarding the spike in cases, which they believe was caused by the UK variant of COVID-19. And this from Pangmasa, the Health Department confirms that the UK variant has now spread to 6 regions. 23 cases were detected in the Cordillera Administrative Region. 18 were found in Bontoc, fall in La Trinidad, Benguet, and 1 in Sabangan Mountain Province. Pasay City, Tanawan, Batangas, San Mateo, Rizal, and Liloan, Cebu have also reported 1 case each of the UK variant. That brings the total number of 62 confirmed UK variant cases in the country. Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte emerged as the top presidential prospect in OCTA Research Tugon ng Masa National Survey. 22% of respondents said they would vote for Duterte if the next national elections were held during the survey period or from January 26 to February 1. Other top prospects supported by survey respondents were Senators Grace Poe and Manny Pacquiao, along with Senator Bongbong Marcos and Manila Mayor Isko Moreno. Senator Bongo, Vice President Leni Robredo, and Senate President Tito Sotto rounded out the top 8 prospects. Meanwhile, the race for Vice President appears to be tight, with Sara Duterte, Isko Moreno, and Manny Pacquiao emerging as statistically tied frontrunners for the post. The Tugon ng Masa National Survey is an independent, non-commissioned poll with a sample size of 1,200 respondents from all around the country. It's official. Kai Sotto will not be rejoining Ignite for the NBA G League bubble in Orlando. The league announced that Sotto and Ignite reached a mutual decision for Sotto to hold off on rejoining the team. NBA G League President Sharif Abdul Rahim said Kai and the team both understood the challenges for him to rejoin Ignite after Sotto left earlier this month to join the now cancelled FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers. The league president added that Kai will always be part of the extended Ignite family, and they wish him continued success as the Filipino baller pursues his NBA dreams. Moving on now to the latest news in the entertainment scene. Smart drops yet another sweet video on real-life couple Binjin. But the real shocker was the sudden breakup of French electronic music duo Daft Punk. MJ Marfori gives us details.
Smart drops the behind-the-scenes footage of its commercial starring reel-to-reel couple Sonia Jin and Yoon Bin. Smart SVP Jane Basa says they were lucky to do the joint commercial even before they came out as a couple on New Year's Day.
So we shot it after they actually went out in public, right, to confirm that they had something together. So we were really just lucky. It was perfect timing.
The two stars promised to crash land in the Philippines once the pandemic is over.
앞으로도 스마트와 함께 이어갈 활동에 많은 관심 부탁드리고요. 2021년
꼭 조만간 만날 수 있었으면 좋겠습니다. 그때까지 건강하세요.
Smart's campaign also features folk pop band Ben and Bet. They wrote and performed the original song Inevitable for the TV ad.
Something about the way you move.
Speaking of music, legendary electronic duo Daft Punk shocked millions of fans late Monday with their sudden split after nearly 3 decades. The robotic pair released Epilogue, an excerpt from their 2006 film Electroma.
If love is the answer you're home, hold on. If love is the answer you're...
For News 5, MJ Marfori, we are One News.
And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us later at 10 a.m. as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. We are One News.